Hi guys, welcome to the second video on my road to a 1 million stock portfolio. In this video, I'll compare my portfolio to the S&P 500 and look at how we performed. We'll also take a look at my stock purchases in July and highlight the best and worst performing stocks. At the end, I'll show you my full portfolio and share my expectations for the upcoming months. So, let's get right into it. In July, the portfolio rose by 3.21%. That sounds pretty good. But if you look at the S&P 500, it rose by 6.2%. If you check out the graph, you'll see that most of that difference came in the last week of July. The S&P 500 had a huge boost, rising almost 5% in just 1 week. But if we zoom out a bit, we're still outperforming the S&P 500 by around 5.5%. So that's still a great result overall. Now let's look at the stocks that moved the most in July. The three worst performers were ASML, Advantest, and New Holdings. Start with number 3, ASML. I recently bought ASML for the first time just before their earnings report. And if you remember, the stock dropped 11.4% right after. I saw this as a great opportunity to double my position to 2 shares. ASML posted strong earnings, but there were concerns about growth in 2026, mainly due to tariffs and possibly a recession. But since I'm a long-term investor, this didn't bother me much. What matters more is what they said in their outlook.
Yes, I think long-term the semiconductor market remains very strong, and I think a lot of people say that AI is really a great opportunity, and we have seen again the fundamentals around AI to be very, very strong.
They expect revenue in 2030 to be between 44 and 60 billion, with gross margins between 56 and 60%. In 2024, they had revenue of 28 billion and a margin of 51.3%. That means they're expecting about 12% compound annual growth rate in revenue and a 10 to 20% increase in margins. So for now, I'm not worried at all. If it drops more, I'll probably add to my position. At number 2, we have Advantest. Advantest is down around 7.5% in July, but it's still one of the best performing stocks in my portfolio. They reported earnings on Tuesday the 29th, and the numbers were amazing. Net sales are up 90%. Operating income is up 295%. Net income is up 277%. And earnings per share basically quadrupled. I have a lot of faith in Advantest. In July, I bought 8 more shares. I'm very excited to buy more if the price drops again. The worst performer in July was New Holdings. It dropped about 12% during the month. That's mostly due to its current valuation, around 26 times TTM, and because the COO stepped down. However, they hired Roberto Campos Neto, the former head of Brazil's central bank. So I don't think that's a downgrade in leadership. Right now, I'll continue holding New Holdings, and I'm looking forward to their earnings report on August 14th. Now let's talk about the top 3 best performers in July. Those were Google, The Trade Desk, and SoFi. At number 3, we have SoFi. SoFi reported great earnings on Tuesday, the 29th. Record revenue, up 44% year over year. EPS of 0.08, still low, but it's their 7th straight quarter of profitability, and fee-based revenue is up 72% year over year. That makes their future revenue much more predictable. At number 2 is The Trade Desk. Honestly, I think it's a wonderful company. They'll report earnings on Thursday the 7th, probably before this video is released. Even though I love the company, the valuation is pretty high. 105 times earnings for the trailing 12 months, and a projected PE of 78 for 2026. So I don't plan to buy more shares right now, but I won't sell either. Evento, it's up 84% since I bought it. And finally, the best performer in July was Google. Google is my largest position at around 11% of the portfolio. In July, Google rose by 8.7%. That's a solid gain, and I still think it's massively undervalued. Their PE ratio is 20.4, which is much lower than most of the Mag 7 stocks. Their Q2 earnings were great. Revenue's up 14% year over year. Operating income is up 32%. Google Search, supposedly dead, is up 12%. Google Cloud, which is more profitable, is up 30%. I see a lot of upside for Google over the next 10 years. I'll probably add more shares, but I don't want it to be more than 15% of the portfolio. Now let's take a look at the stocks I bought in July. As usual, I deposited 500 euros per week, and I'll keep doing that until I reach the 1 million goal. I bought 4 different stocks in July. We already covered ASML and Advantest, so I'll skip those. I bought a bit more of On. I really like the company, and I'm also a big tennis and Roger Federer fan. They currently sponsor Ben Shelton and Joao Fonseca. I think those are great choices by their marketing team. Both are young, famous, and in line with the future-focused mindset of ON's management. They're here to stay. I also bought more Amazon. Amazon is an amazing company. I believe they're one of the best-positioned companies for the AI and robotics future. They currently employ around 1.5 million people. And if they can automate even 30% of that workforce with robots, it could massively improve their earnings. Now let's take a quick look at the total portfolio. In my opinion, the portfolio is on its way to becoming a very strong position for long-term growth, but also stable enough to avoid major losses during a recession. I don't own many stocks that are priced to perfection, like Tesla, Nvidia, or Palantir. I believe the stock market is pretty overvalued right now, but if you look carefully, you can still find great deals. Overall, I try to stay away from FOMO and hype stocks. I want to sleep well at night and not worry about a tweet from Trump, Elon, or any macro change. If you stayed until the end of the video, thank you very much for your time. I know these aren't the best videos in the world, but I'm working to improve the quality every time. And I love that anyone can watch this, whether it's today or 10 years from now. A like would be very much appreciated. And subscribe if you don't want to miss next month's update. Stay invested, and see you next time.